we worked on passing knee shield half guard, okay? So what we're gonna talk about today is flattening the person out and getting to top half smash, okay? I just showed this over the weekend at my seminar in Chicago too. But if we're here, right, we're in half guard. My partner's got their good structure, right? We talked about this. We have all our options for breaking down the knee shield. But anytime, even if this person is just tilting open too much or they're on their back, they don't have the best half guard structure, when I see space, I'm just gonna go in and close it. Like I'm coming in and I'm going to top half smash, right? That's ideally where I wanna be, okay? It's a great position. You can attack there really well. There's so much control. So as I'm here, right, I still wanna keep my hips facing his hips. I don't need like my knee all the way in like we were talking about with the operation and the swirl, right? But I do want to be facing him. So if I tend to put some pressure on, sometimes when I push down too much, right, they open up and then I can just go in and flatten out, right? But that can be kind of hard to do. What I want to do is I want to get up on my knees and hip thrust, right? So as I do that, I'm just going to start filling in the cracks. I bring my knee with me and I just start shimmying down and flatten out, okay? So I have to use my hips, and I might, if he's like trying to fight it a little bit, right, I might have to like finagle, boom. But see how I melt my way in, right? So it's not coming in here and going like this, like I'm not gonna just pull his knee out of the way. But some people try and do that, and like if he lets me do that, right? So I'm gonna pull this out of the way, and they lead with like their butt still behind them and come in like this. There's a lot of crevices here. He can get his knees, his shins in, right? But if I'm like here, I'm like a shield and it's really hard for him to stop. There's nowhere for him to like insert a shin or a knee, right? And now I'm in my top half smash, okay? So once I'm here, we're going to talk about the Serafin Stopper and just getting there. My coach, I named this after my coach. It's just like a stopper, right? This is a move he utilizes a lot, but it really kills the bottom person's hips. Because of course, once I put pressure on them here, they're going to want to try and get back to their hip and re-guard, right? Exactly. Of course, I don't blame him. That's what he wants to do, right? So I'm flattened out, right? Fill in the nooks and crannies, okay? I'm going to ultimately come in and get head control in an underhook. But I want you to watch what I'm doing with my foot. Okay, so I'm going to kind of throw him in line with my hips. So I want him square. I don't want him favoring his hip side, right? So I'm square, and then I take my heel and I find the inside of his knee. Just a crevice, okay? It's just like a stopper, okay? So I'm on my toesies here. Now, if he's up high like he is, or with his leg, I'll be up high. If he like shifts down low to the mat, like I can set my toes in the mat, right? And the heel's there. So I'm just gonna like follow him. So if he was moving around, right? I'm just following him with my stopper. It kills his hip mobility and it's hard for him to get to his side. If he does start kind of shifting to his side, I've got to keep him in alignment, right? So this leg keeps tracking to keep him straight as I keep the stopper on this side, right? So now that I'm here, I want to get the head control and I want to start getting an underhook, okay? I'll use the Addams Family hand, crawl, crawl, crawl. I like to get the pit grip and the head grip. This really isolates the arm and we're in a deep underhook here, okay? And here I'm really just cobra stretching, trying to use my core, my belly, my chest to put a lot of pressure on him. I don't want to like round out, right, where I'm hollow underneath and there's no pressure. Then he's going to be able to move. I want to make it miserable, right? When we're in these pressure positions, pressure passing, we should want the bottom person to let us pass. They want to let us pass because it's an uncomfortable position. I don't have to be fast here. I just want to put a lot of pressure on, slow and steady. Okay, so this is where we're going to get to first and foremost before we move on to the passes. But once I'm here, right, and I'm isolated, there's tons of things, right? I could start going for like Americanas, isolating the arm for that, arm triangles, arm bars, tons of stuff. I love being able to submit from top half smash because I think it's just a great angle because I am controlling him like at a diagonal, like a nice cross body. So even if you don't want to pass, but you feel like you can start setting up submissions from here, great. But this is where I want us to get to. If you get a shallow underhook, and this is what happens sometimes, like especially if I'm rolling with like bigger, strong dudes, like, you know, Juan Carlos here. If I can't get this deep underhook, what they'll tend to do, and this can even be in the mount position, he'll overwrap my arm, right? And then he can bridge me. I'm gone. Even if I have double unders here, which isn't bad, like I'm trying to go, he can overwrap both my hands. Yep, exactly. And there we go. He bridges, right? So I've got to be cautious of that. I like the head control. I feel a little safer with that. I'm coming in. I feel he's going to overwrap. I pull my arm out. I hold on to his head, and I try and shift up and control his head and put pressure on it. I'll try and grab his chin, get a chin strap, and then I'm going to pull him back and put shoulder pressure. Okay? Until I can maybe start getting in a little deeper for this underhook. Boom. Now I feel like I'm in a good spot, right? But if I take that angle out, right, he's not in alignment anymore, it's going to be really hard for him to bridge me, right? But I'm letting go. I'd rather let go and hang on to the head and put a lot of hip pressure in before I can reassess, change the angle, put the chin strap, okay? So just some tips there, because I find, you know, as a female, rolling with a lot of like bigger guys, right, or people who are just a little stronger, if they can overwrap, that's it. It's really hard for me to stay on top. So I want to get my arm out of that danger spot unless I can get a really deep underhook. Okay. So I'm here, coming up. I'm looking straight ahead, not down at him when I do that. Because if I look down, right, my butt stays back. The head goes, the body follows. So I'm here trying to do all these other options I taught last week, right? Jen showed me to do this, blah, blah, blah. Come in, fill in the cracks. Right away, stopper. I get them in line, stopper, boom, pit grip, head grip. Nice pressure with the belly. And then we'll talk about, in our next option, we're gonna try advancing up to get higher, okay? But this is kind of where we are at first, playing with the stopper. I want the bottom person to move around a little bit, right? So that they can give you, so you can feel what the stopper's doing, right? So if Juan Carlos moves a bit, right? He's trying to get his leg out. I mean, he's trying to get to his hip to regard. But I'm following, so he can't. You see that? That's what that's doing. It's killing his ability to get to his hip in regard. So I want you to actually feel that once you get in the position. So bottom person, when they get there, just to try and really shift back to your hip, try and bring the knee in. You shouldn't be able to if you're using the stopper correctly. Okay? So any questions? Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3. So as we're here, right, I'm in this position. Now I want to be able to work up in advance. Okay, that's the whole idea. So I'm gonna start just using my core and my chest. We can even get into this nice like smother tap, chest tap. If you can tap somebody with pressure, it's amazing, right? So you could be a real asshole to your partner, but we love our training partners. But that's there, right? So now as I'm working my way up and putting all this pressure, right, I don't really need the stopper anymore because my foot is at the level of his hip, right? My heel's right there. So we've kind of passed that point. I'm up nice and high. I've got a lot of pressure. I'm wide with my base, right? So if I do feel like he's of course gonna try and buck and move, right? I can still like stay nice and heavy. And I can't stress enough the fact that I'm like cobra stretching in. Like how does that pressure feel versus this?
That's always better.
Yeah. So I'm really like grinding, right? I'm not staying in just one place. You want to make them miserable out of love, but you want to make them miserable. So now that I'm here and I've got my position, what I'm going to do, if my leg is like short enough, sure, maybe it'll pop right out and I get into 3/4 mount. Okay. But that's usually not the case, right? So I've kind of creeped up a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is grab the armpit, base my hand, and I'm going to pull my elbow back and lay on shoulder pressure. If I stay here and lay on shoulder pressure, it's okay, but it's really not a lot. I want to draw my elbow back. I've got the pit grip, and then I lay the shoulder pressure on the face. Now, I like tilt my hip. I do a hip switch. Just so I can push his knee down if I need to and get my knee free. Now, don't be in a rush. If I can just pop this out and get to mount, great. But people like me are going to hold on to the ankle for dear life, okay, when I'm on bottom. So I come back and I start getting my nice deep underhook. I'm even higher up on the face. And now all I need to do, this was like a light bulb moment for some of my higher belts the other night. It's hard for me to maybe insert the peeler, right, to get this leg loose. Like I said, take your time here. Pressure, I can start isolating submissions, whatever, right? It's a great control spot. But if I want to get this leg free, don't panic and lift up all your weight, right? Stay heavy. All I'm going to do, he's holding onto my leg. I'm going to just direct him to the center. See, I stay heavy. But I'm controlling where his legs go because he's pinching so hard. I bring him right to the center. I bring him to me. Insert peeler. And there we go. And now on Carlos to breathe. Okay? So, it's like one of those weird things. Like, he's really biting on my ankle. His knees are in that direction. I'm like, I can't get the peeler. And that's when people start lifting up, doing crazy stuff, and lose the position, right? So all I need to do, hips are still heavy. Thrusting my hips forward, I just bring him to me. Boom. Peeler, push down, pull out. Flare, or flick, and then get into your position. Okay, so we're here. Okay, I'm coming in, boom, 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 boom. Great. In my position. This isn't high enough. I start working my way up. Boom, boom, right? I'm in my spot. And I'm like, oh, I need to pull this knee out, right? I want to get to 3/4 mount. Option 1 here. We've got the pit grip. I'll base in case he bridges. Pull him back. I've got to lay the shoulder pressure as I switch my hip. I push his knee down. All I need is my knee to the mat. Come back up for control. Now, steer him towards me, get my peeler, flick. Here we go. Got my mount position nice and controlled. I can start attacking. All that good stuff. You need to see this. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? Any questions? Give it a shot. 1, 2, 3. So, that's just an option, right, to get to 3/4 mount, to get to mount, ultimately. And the whole reason for that, or like the point of this, is that we're really trying to utilize pressure. We are smashing, okay? Smash, pass, pressure. Control is important before we're able to even get a submission, right? So we need to be able to control our position, and then we can advance and get to some great subs, right? Or passes. So we're going to talk about this next option is when he's got my leg really tight in between his and I can't get my knee free. I'm going to go for a tripod position knee cut, okay? Now, we're going to talk about too, once you get to 3/4 mount from the position we just did, you could absolutely cut across to a knee cut. When your knee is free, you can interchange between sides. Okay, knee cut to mount, right? Or 3/4 mount to knee cut to mount, whatever. You can interchange that back and forth because my knee is free, so I have mobility to move my hips, okay? So if I'm here, right, boom, 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 we're getting into my spot. Stopper, great tool, right? Hips are connected, boom, 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 I'm in my position. I'm advancing up, but I'm like, man, he's got a bite on my leg and I don't feel like safe for some reason doing like the hip switch, right? I don't want to get my knee out. He's got a really tight hold. So what I'm going to do now, still heavy on this person, right? I'm going to transition. I need to bring my head to the other side. I do this pass a lot. Okay, so I'm either going to grab the shoulder or have my hand in the mat. Just a little like safety tip, guys. If somebody does bridge you, you want to be careful that your hand's not flat. You can roll over your hand. You can come in and cup, right? So if you do feel a bridge coming on, I'm going to switch my hand, okay? So they don't roll over it. Okay? So what I'm gonna do, I switch. I come to the shoulder, take my head control out. I come to a tricep grip. I want an overwrap. And then my head comes to this side. So my head's gonna be on the same side. I'm gonna knee cut. Now, I'm not just laying my head here. I wanna take him offline. So I'm gonna move his head over. Okay? Now, I get nice and wide on my toes. And I'm gonna start lifting up. Just like when we do that Kimura grip break, right? We don't do it in one pull. Same thing here. It's going to be really hard for me to pull my leg out on one pull. So I'm going to just like jackhammer it or chisel it. So I'm going to come up, 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 up. Shake it off. My shoulder's on his face. Once my knee is free, I cut and slide right across. Okay? Be careful here if I lean back too much. Yep, he can push me back. Exactly. Put pressure on the throat. He can put my head between his legs. Also, something to think about. If he still has my ankle, like if he's still holding on, like I'm like, oh, I'm going to cut, right? It's hard for him to do that, but that's okay. We'll pretend. And I can't like come in and insert a peeler. Like that's not working. Just think about the hips, guys. I'm opening up my hips. So I've got this nice control. I'm using this overwrap, rib to rib pressure. I'm just gonna thrust my hips forward. They're open. Now here, if I'm tilting back, I'm really heavy on him. It's hard for him to do anything. But my hips will ultimately set my ankle free and my foot free. Now I can start turning over, right? Meets this nice position. North, south, isolating limbs, whatever. Okay? So, we're here just to save time. Let's get in our top half smash. Stopper in my spot. Boom. I was here and I'm like, I don't know. I'm advancing. I don't think I can go the other way. He's got a good bite. I'm going to switch. Come over. Get him offline. Nice and wide. Shake it off. Cut. That's a hard cut. As soon as you turn the angle, it's hard for them to hold on. Pull up. Slide through. I can do my rewind here too. Throw his hips back and get into my position. It's really important that you bring the head to the other side. Okay, it gives them too much space if I try and cut opposite with my head on the other direction. Okay, so I'm really getting his head offline using my head. I'll tripod. If you feel any threat of a bump or a bridge, come back down to your knees, right? Bring that pressure back on. Then when the timing's right, I'm up nice and wide on my toes so I have a good base. There's a lot of shoulder pressure on the face, and then I cut through.